Hello everyone, so for today's video I'm doing part 3 of my weight loss diary. If you haven't seen my previous two, I'll link the playlist down below, but this is my first official update video, which I am so excited to do. I have officially done it for a whole week, plus obviously a bit. I've been keeping track of everything that I've been eating in my diary, and I've also continued doing it this week as well. My week is going from a Saturday to a Saturday, so my weigh-in day is a Saturday. I take my pictures on a Saturday as well. So my start weight on the 4th was 13 stone, 4 pounds and 4 ounces, and then my weight on the 10th was 13 stone, 1 pound and 8 ounces. So obviously I was only 4 ounces away from losing 3 pounds, which is amazing. I am so happy with that. For my target, I'd kind of guessed that I wanted to lose about £2 a week, so obviously I am well on my way to doing that. I feel so pleased about that. I would have been really happy if it was £1. I would have been really happy if it was £0.5. Just as long as I'm heading in the right direction, I feel like I'm just going to accept it. Obviously there will be weeks when I do lose less, there'll be weeks when I lose more. So for the first week, I kind of almost wanted to do a little experiment with myself, and it was kind of a bit accidental and at the same time a little bit planned, was that I really paid attention to my body when it came to eating. So if I was hungry, I would eat. If I wasn't hungry, I wouldn't eat. Now, what I mean by that is I wouldn't leave it until I was starving to eat food. And I wouldn't, like, just eat a little bit, see if I'm still hungry. What I mean by that is I just paid more attention to my body. So if I was feeling a bit peckish, I would eat something. And I was paying very careful attention to how much I was eating. So I was weighing all my food and obviously keeping track of it all. And it was very interesting to see how much food I actually felt like I needed to eat. I did keep note of all the calories that I had, and I really struggled in a sense to get to 1700 calories, which was my goal. I found myself eating anywhere between 1500 calories and sometimes below 1200 calories. Now obviously that is not a lot, but as I mentioned, because of the kind of foods I'm eating, they're not a lot of calories at all. And I never felt sick, I never felt weak, and I've been really busy for the last week because we've been getting Brooke ready for school, and we've just been doing a lot of stuff in general. I've worked over the weekend, so it hasn't affected my energy levels. If anything, I feel a little bit more energetic, and I get up early in the morning, I go to bed at a reasonable time, so it's not affected me in any negative way whatsoever. It was just more of an opportunity just to kind of get to know my body a bit, and just to almost allow my body to start to process all the fat that I have and start to kind of eat away at it, because that's my aim that I want to do. I want to get rid of the fat, and that's how I'm going to get rid of the fat. So I do think it's important to listen to your body a lot and pay close attention to how much I was eating. I mean, it really did make me realise how much food I was eating. So yeah, so that's what I was doing this week. On weekends, it is definitely a lot more difficult for me to eat healthy because of the job I do. I sometimes can work from 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon without having a break or without having anything to eat. Or if I do have something to eat, it has to be something really quick and really small. That's definitely something which is difficult, which I'm really paying attention to. And over the next couple of weeks, I will go more into, you know, how I tackle that kind of thing. Yeah, so just to give you an idea of the kind of things I've been eating, I've mostly had my crunchy nut clusters for my breakfast. I absolutely love crunchy nut clusters. I feel like they really do keep me full, and they're really tasty as well, so that's always really nice. I have just had that with a bit of milk. I do want to get some like almond milk or soy milk because I do actually really quite like the taste of it. I've also had some toast as well, I think once or twice. And then for snacks, I've had anything between some biscuits or some carrots or coffee or something like that. And then for my lunch, I've been eating stuff like salad or crackers and crisps, or sometimes like a Weight Watchers sandwich and crisps, which has been really nice. And then for my dinner, I had a lot of like vegetables for my dinner last week because that's probably my favourite thing to make, and it's definitely nice and quick and easy. So I had a wrap, a Quorn salad wrap, or I've made a salad myself. If you follow me on Snapchat, I do show what I eat, and I do want to do some more recipes, but I just kind of wanted to quickly run through the kind of things I've been eating. In terms of the kind of foods I eat, I suppose I am probably 90% of the time vegan, and that's not a kind of purposeful thing. I don't look purposely for vegan food. I appreciate the fact that some people do, you know, are vegan and things like that, but it's just personal preference more so to taste than anything else. And I'm very fussy when it comes to meat. I just don't really tend to like eating it or cooking it. That's just the way I am. I love eating Quorn. If I have like hot dogs, I'll have like a Quorn hot dog. If I have spag bowl, I have it with Quorn. I don't have it with like beef mince or anything like that. That's just the way I am. I feel like the only non-vegan kind of things I eat are the dairy category, because I do eat like cheese, which I've been trying to kind of cut back on a lot recently, and milk as well. That's why I said about getting almond milk and soy milk, just because I feel like they're the things that make me feel like bloated, and you know, I want to, and I feel like my skin gets affected by eating them. So it's more preference as to the kind of foods I like as to why I would say that I eat mostly vegan foods. Not to say that, you know, I don't, if I went out I wouldn't eat meat and things like that. That's just the way I am. You can obviously have healthy foods that are meat, so that is just the kind of foods that I eat. To be honest, I have found this week pretty easy. I've not had any problems. Obviously I'm only a week into it, so you know, I feel like you're not really likely to find a problem when you're a week into it. And the thing that I think is also interesting to note is, considering I've not eaten a huge amount of calories, I've not eaten my target number of calories, I haven't lost an insane amount of weight. And you know, I think it just shows that it is important to listen to your body, because you know, your body is your best tool, because you know when you're hungry, you know when you're full and all that. And another thing which I am taking into account is my monthly cycle. That is definitely going to affect my weight, so I will, you know, I do take that into account in my own mind. It can also affect how you feel, and it can affect the kind of foods that you are craving as well. So I've definitely tried to pay attention to that. I was really craving like sugar last week, so I went to Asda and I just bought loads of fruit. I bought apple, carrots, grapes and watermelon, and me and Brooke have just been eating that a lot more this week as well, and that's been really nice. With the pictures, I'll put them both like here side by side. I don't really notice that much of a difference in the pictures. Not that I was really expecting to anyway. I want to get myself into the habit of taking these pictures every week. I feel like maybe, especially the front picture, I look a tiny bit less bloated. I feel like my first picture I took, I look pretty bloated. And I mean tiny bit not as bloated. And the other thing that I'm trying to sort of pay attention to is like the gap between my legs, because I feel like as my legs get slimmer, the gap should kind of go higher. I'm not aiming for like a thigh gap or anything like that, but obviously I do want my legs to be a bit slimmer, so I feel like that is a good thing as well to take into account. It's really difficult to take these pictures exactly the same, but I'm trying my hardest. And then this is the side picture. Again, I don't really notice any difference in it. I didn't really expect to. And then this is the back picture, which again, not really noticing any difference, but yeah, they are the pictures. And you know, it's only been a week, so I wasn't expecting to notice any huge differences anyway, so that's definitely not something that I'm going to really take that hard on myself. It's just to kind of keep track of my progress. So what I was kind of planning on doing with these videos is having like a topic to talk about in each week. I have thought about a few topics, and sometimes I might have a recipe and things like that, but for today's topic I wanted to talk about staying motivated, because although I'm only a week in, to think about it, from now until like April, which is when I hopefully will be at my goal weight, that's a fairly long time to be sticking to something so strict compared to what I've been previously used to. And I was talking to like my dad about it all, and you know, we were saying about like why the way I'm doing it is important. So I just kind of wanted to almost give you a few tips and stuff that I feel like is really really helping me so far. So the first thing I would suggest is take pictures. I have now got the start picture of where I was when I first begun this to forever reference from now until I get to my goal weight. So although, like you've just seen, there isn't that much of a difference between a week, from now until a month, maybe 2 months, when I look at them pictures side by side, I might see a huge difference. And to me, that is the biggest motivation. I feel like, you know, people look at fitness bloggers and, you know, other people like that who have what they would think is a nice body and use them as motivation. But the thing that always kind of put me off about that is they're not me. I will never look like them. I am myself, and I just want to look like the best that I can look like. I don't want to look like someone else. I want to look like me. And obviously when you lose weight, your body shape could be completely different to somebody else's body shape, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, you know, everybody has different body types. Your bum might be a bit different shape, your boobs might be a different shape, your legs might be a different shape, your waist might be a different shape. It's just the way it is. So I feel like you are your best form of motivation, because to see a change in yourself is probably the best thing. Looking at changes in other people is amazing. It's good to give them encouragement and things like that, but they're not you. They've done what's worked for them, and you need to do what's worked for you. And I feel like looking at pictures of yourself is definitely a good form of motivation. The other thing that I've been doing during this process is I've actually weighed myself every single day. And the reason that I've done this is because even if I weigh myself and there's been no change, or there's only been a couple of ounces, I want to make sure that it's working. The last thing I want to do is spend a week doing something to weigh myself and find it's not worked. And I feel like if you weigh yourself every day and keep track of what you're eating, if you put on a bit of weight, or if you don't lose any weight, or if maybe you lose a little bit more weight the day before, you can look at exactly what you've been doing and think, you know, that's why. I found that if I ate a bigger lunch and a smaller dinner, it made a difference. I lost that little bit extra weight. And I actually prefer doing stuff like that, because I find that in the evening I'm definitely not as hungry, and I think that's what my issue was, that I would pig out so much in the evening through boredom, and Brooke would be in bed and we would just be sitting watching TV, and I'd just pig out as much as I could. Whereas in the afternoon I'm more happy to sit there and cook a really nice meal and things like that. So I definitely think that that's something worth looking at. Just kind of change things up day by day and just see what works for you. And then you'll be able, if you weigh yourself every day, you'll know exactly what's working for you, and you'll be able to see, you know, the progress. And if you weigh yourself and you're like, oh, I've lost, you know, like half a pound since yesterday, or I've lost a couple of ounces since yesterday, it's that kind of motivation to make you keep going. And I think that you need to think about what will motivate you, not what will motivate other people, what will motivate you. That's the thing that's going to work. And I feel like keeping track of everything and seeing your progression in pictures, in weight, is just, it works. I feel like looking at my the meals and seeing that, you know, I have been good and I have been keeping track of everything is also a nice motivation, because it makes me feel like I can do it. There's no reason why I can't do it. The only reason that I didn't do it is just because I was lazy. And I feel like if I would have kept track of everything that I was eating, I probably would have been like, wow, I really need to sort that out. That's not good. That's not the kind of diet that I want to have. So I do think it's really important to listen to your body. Yeah, I'm really happy with my first week. I'm already nearly halfway into my second week, which obviously I will go through next week with you, and I will be doing some recipes soon of foods that I have been eating. So if you've got any questions or anything like that about anything that I spoke about, just be sure to leave them in the comments below. If you did like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.